one dive down at Guadalupe. No sharks yet. Lots of fish, lots of tuna under the cage. Got a little bit of it on tape. No big sharks yet, but it's only a matter of time.
To give the divers the best chance possible to see a great white shark up close, the Solmar 5 employed shark wranglers to lead the sharks as close as possible to the cage without the sharks taking the bait or running into the cage. This was more for the shark's safety than it was for the divers. The shark wranglers used hemp rope attached to a floating buoy to drag pieces of fish through the water.
Typically, the sharks weren't interested in the divers or cages, and they would actually avoid them as they swam closer. Instead, the sharks were focused on the baits that were being handled by the wranglers up top. Every time the shark missed a bait, they seemed to rethink their approach and attack from a different angle in order to ensure the highest probability of success.
On the first morning, we settled into a cove on the eastern edge of Guadalupe Island, where we would remain for the rest of the trip. With crystal clear, 70-degree water, it was a shark diver's dream. If day 1 was good, the next 2 days were truly epic. The sharks became more aggressive, and the divers began to use the gaps in the cage to lean out of the cage and get closer to the sharks. The result was some close-up encounters with great whites and some great footage. Hang on to your seats.
Several of the sharks that we saw had already been identified and tagged by researchers. Some of them still had tags attached to the tops of their dorsal fins, and other ones had unique rip and tear patterns in their fins where the tags had been lost or ripped out. Skip had a notch out of the very top of his dorsal fin, and Horizon was missing a big triangular chunk out of the back edge of his. Each shark seemed to have its own personality, and they all exhibited unique behaviors. The sharks we saw were between 12 and 16 feet long, and were told that the larger individuals weighed up to 2,000 pounds.
During our time at Guadalupe, we learned just as much about ourselves as we did about the sharks. I expected sharing the water with a great white to bring on a sense of fear or a rush of adrenaline. In reality, the opposite was true. It's difficult to explain, but being in the water, watching the sharks, brought about a calm. As we leaned out of the cage to film an approaching great white, I expected my level of anxiety to grow as the shark closed in. Instead, I found myself taking in every detail. Diving with the great whites was a life-changing experience. I dreaded the thought of leaving the island and hoped that one day I will get to return to Guadalupe and swim with the sharks again.